Working now. That's what's important. So should we play a song and start a thing?
Yeah, let's fucking go. You nasty.
Girl, you nasty.
Girl, you fucking nasty. You nasty girl. Oh, slap me with that shit one time.
One time.
Let's start that bop from the beginning, dog.
All right. One
there we go.
more time. And we're starting now. I'm just trying to remember where to edit this. Start right now.
Hey, that chorus to drop though.
Welcome to the program. We're live on a Saturday. We're on YouTube today because that's the way we just do it. And we've always done that. And that's the way it is.
Our signature network.
Yeah.
Always the flagship network.
Well, they decided to sponsor us.
Yeah.
Yep.
So anyhow, welcome to the program, everybody. I'm glad to see my good friends here with me at Quack Swan on the Twitter, at Home Run Jack 1987 on the Twitter, and of course at Derek on TSPN on the Twitter. Man, I'm really glad to be doing a show with you guys today because it's been a boring life. It's been a boring. You know what I love? I see. To start out, I see all these shows doing this Zoom stuff that we're doing this streaming, and they're all like, "Man, we're just trying to make do during COVID-19." And it's like we've always been this way.
Yeah, we've always been making it through.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
In the land of the blind, the man with one eye will see or lead or whatever.
You'll see some weed.
I'm gonna get that printed on a shirt.
What's that from?
I don't know.
It's ours.
It's ours. TM.
I made it up just now. No one's ever said it, even remotely.
Yeah, no one's probably.
Someone's Googling it right now.
No one would probably think of saying that.
It's a real quote that I butchered, but
yeah, it's from something real, but it's pretty unique.
Gentlemen, I've missed you so. I'm glad to be on the YouTube. That's where everybody's at now. That's where it's at.
That's where the action is for sure.
Did you guys share this to Facebook?
I did.
I forgot.
You're a good man.
I will. I'll do whatever you want.
Can you share it to the sports program Facebook as well?
Can I?
Yes, would you?
Yeah. Yeah.
Awesome, thank you.
I'm gonna thumbs up our.
Our music is provided by
Glacier Veins.
Glacier Veins. Feel better now. This is a band that Zach knows and he's friends with, and that's why we're allowed to use their music.
Yeah.
So don't try flagging me, YouTube, because we got permission to use this.
Yeah. Fuck you, YouTube.
Anyway, great band though.
Great way to get the sponsorship going. Yeah, YouTube, you could also go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
Thanks for your service.
Fucking pieces.
I don't know if you guys can hear it or not, but my neighbor is mowing his lawn, so that's gonna be a nice
Can't hear it now.
noise.
Nope. I went and slit his Achilles so he can't mow.
I like that.
I wish you would.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna look like the little kid from Pet Cemetery.
Eventually, we'll probably switch to StreamYard like everybody else, but right now we're using Zoom.
Yep, and that's completely your idea if we decide to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that way I chose to do it.
And that's my choice.
You can't pressure this group of men.
Nope. But we chose it, and that's what we wanted to do on our terms. But yeah, we'll probably be doing that pretty soon here. Zoom's doing us well for now, though, and that's okay. We are on YouTube today. We made that choice, not because there was a problem with Zoom at all.
Nope.
But because we wanted to.
Well.
But that's fine.
Our agent told us we had to.
Yeah, our agent. We have an agent now.
Agent? I don't know. I don't got no.
But anyway, thanks for joining the program with us today, everybody. Actually, one of the reasons we are using YouTube is because it will make editing just that much easier. Because it's
even have
already
to
on there.
I don't even have to do it in post.
No, we're just gonna trim the beginning and end and call it good. Make that a show, baby.
Make that a show, baby.
So, any news? Any sports news? I think the last time we did the show, we were speculating that Brady would be a Buccaneer.
No, he was a
Oh,
Buccaneer.
he was.
Buccaneer.
No.
He was a Buccaneer. Now the speculation, I think, is probably Cam Newton. And
Yeah.
I've always been a little bit of a Cam hater. Even on his best seasons, even in his MVP season, I was like, yeah, but he kind of fucking sucks.
Yeah. I mean, like,
Only you put on the Panthers and you like the Ravens, it makes sense. Or the Falcons.
Yeah, I'm like, well, anyone can win MVP, really.
Yeah.
It
doesn't take much.
Except for when Matt Ryan did it, that was unique and special.
Yeah.
But yeah, completely. I mean, great guy, huge dick.
Cam Newton's dick. So here's the best part about Cam Newton. Or this was the best. His dick. No. The best part
pipe and hog
about Cam Newton was Greg Olson.
Who's gone?
Who's gone?
To a team that I despise.
Did he go to the Seahawks?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
yuck.
That is yucky.
That's icky.
I mean, I think all three of us can agree. Fuck the Seahawks.
Yeah, I puked in my mouth a little bit just from you saying the name.
Russell.
I like Russell Wilson.
I don't.
I do too.
So this is why I don't like him. He always looks greasy, and his hair is fucking stupid.
I like Russell Wilson. I wish he played on my team.
I think you wish that anybody played.
Hey, I got Ben back, man. I'm fine with it.
With the beard and everything.
I think he'll get hurt again.
Oh, he'll get hurt again. He just I'm gonna enjoy him while I have him.
Yeah, you got to take it
He's
in.
a lot better. He's a lot better than what we had last year. So
where do we think Cam will go?
That's the real thing. So it's like, it's interesting, in my opinion, that teams like the Chargers seem like they're pretty set in their quarterbacks. And I love Tyrod Taylor. I'm a Tyrod guy. I think he's gotten a bad shake throughout his whole career.
Is that where he is right now?
But I think some people think he might go there. I mean, if you are going with Tyrod, maybe Cam's just a slight improvement. So why not upgrade? I think Jacksonville makes a shit ton of sense. I think I said that last week on the show. I think Jacksonville makes a ton of sense. I don't think New England makes any sense, but yeah, like Jacksonville, or maybe he goes to a team that drafts a quarterback too. Like maybe he goes to a team that picks up a first rounder but doesn't want to play him right away, like whoever drafts Justin Herbert from Oregon. So I don't know if you're Cam. He's only 30, but he's got a lot. I think he's got a lot left in the tank as long as he's healthy. So I wouldn't want to go somewhere and be a stopgap quarterback. So Jacksonville makes a lot of sense to me. San Diego or LA makes a lot of sense to me because he can go in, take that starting job and keep it for a while. He's like, once again, dude's 30. If he's healthy, he's pretty good. But
yeah,
if he's healthy, it's like kind of like the Ben situation, right? Like if he's healthy, Steelers are going to win some games, probably make the playoffs. But if he's not, you just invested a lot of money in a losing team.
And then where did Kyle Allen go? Did Kyle Allen go to the Patriots? Did he go there?
No, he went to Redskins.
Yeah,
okay.
he followed his coach, which some people have also speculated maybe Cam goes there and follows Rivera as well. But it just doesn't.
No.
It doesn't seem like the Redskins are very happy with the quarterback they drafted last year. So,
why is that?
I don't know. I mean, it doesn't even seem like they've really. We're seeing that more in the NFL now. We're seeing people get drafted in the first round, and we saw it with Josh Rosen last year.
But he's trash.
Brian Hoyer. That's who the Patriots got.
Well, they already had Hoyer.
They re-signed him. Yeah.
No, I know, but they re-signed him. So it's going to be Hoyer and Stidham that are going to.
Stidham's going to start. No, it's not. It's not a battle. It's Stidham for sure. I mean, they like him a lot.
They can't possibly. And the season where Brian Hoyer was the fucking Niners starting quarterback was one of the most heart-wrenching seasons of my life.
Yeah, he's bad. He's
bad. And then they were like losing games by like field goals. Like he had ample opportunities. Like there was that huge game where they did beat the Rams. I don't know. It was a Brian Hoyer. I have always and will always say fuck Brian Hoyer.
Yeah. So Jarrett Stidham, that's obviously his job. They're a big fan of the guy, but things change fast in the NFL, as we've seen. So 2 months from now, we could be like, oh yeah, this other quarterback that they have is the guy that they really like. And
Haskins, right?
Haskins is for the Redskins. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the guy.
And I mean, the knock on him is that he doesn't take football very seriously, right? Like they're losing a game and he's taking selfies with fans and just
I think, I don't want to like think badly about that because he's just maybe he's just excited.
I think the knock on him is that they don't think he's excited. I think they don't think he cares that much about football. So to counteract that, of course, he has been like first guy in, last guy out this whole offseason until obviously they weren't allowed to do that anymore. But he was definitely trying to like show that he has changed. He's changed, baby. He's not gonna do that to you.
He's gonna treat me right this time.
Yeah. So and I hope he does.
He might.
He might.
Who's this? I missed this. I'm sorry.
Haskins, the rookie that the Redskins.
I don't know his last name.
He doesn't.
Dwayne Haskins. Dwayne Haskins.
But he's not ready. I mean, it's been said he's not ready.
Right, but now they're all of a sudden talking about drafting another quarterback. There's even been speculation that they don't use the number 2 pick on the defensive end from Ohio State, that they might even go to a number 2 for the Redskins. Yeah. Like they might move off of them that fast. Like,
so it's like it's exactly what you said with Josh Rosen.
Yeah, it's just like, are we going to start seeing this every year where first round quarterback really doesn't mean anything anymore? Because as soon as the coaching staff changes, and which happened in Washington this year with Rivera coming in from Carolina, as soon as the coaching staff changes, they're going to grab their guys. Like that's why Allen went in the first place, because he goes, this is the backup I had in Carolina. This is the backup I want here.
Yeah.
And then the other thing is, I don't think it will happen. I think he'll retire. But what if Alex Smith comes back?
Oh my God. Yeah. So, that man deserves a fucking Super Bowl, man.
I'd be all right with Alex Smith coming back. I mean,
he was having
back from the accident, the injury anyways.
He was having such a good season before that happened. They were going to make the playoffs.
I think that, yeah. Alex Smith's the guy who's always been extremely underrated, and it would just be nice to see him come back and have like one more year where he does well.
Mm-hmm. I mean, just think about Alex Smith when he was with the Chiefs before Mahomes got healthy. I mean, he was great.
11-win quarterback, yeah.
When that season before San Francisco got rid of him, man.
He was good that year too. Before even the year that it was like him and Kaepernick back and forth, they made the playoffs. I know it was kind of a collective effort between the two of them, but that was a really good team that he was on.
I watched every game that year. It was dog shit what they did to Alex Smith. Dog shit.
I think there's a small percentage you could see Alex Smith come back.
Is there any? I mean, obviously, I haven't seen anything, but is there any? I don't follow him on anything.
I haven't seen any news on him at all.
No, I mean he's still listed on the depth chart, and we haven't gotten a retirement post yet.
Yeah.
So
that makes sense.
You got to keep hope alive.
He wants to come back,
and like
we've seen Carson Palmer come back for some pretty nasty injuries.
I'm not a huge fan of that division. Like that's probably my least favorite division in football. Giants, Cowboys, Redskins, Eagles are all. I've always had a little bit of a soft spot for them in comparison, just because you always have like a team in each division you have a slight soft spot for. Sure. You know,
I hate the Eagles the least of those four teams.
If shit went to shit, you go, well, I prefer the Eagles win this division. If shit came to shit, I would say, well, I prefer the Chargers win their division. Things like that. I don't know if that's true anymore. I kind of have a soft spot for that entire division. I kind of like the Chiefs. I kind of like the Raiders. I kind of like the Chargers.
I absolutely hate the Broncos.
And I hate the Broncos. I think that's probably why I have a soft spot for the other three teams, because I grew up hating the Broncos.
Yeah.
That'd be fun to go through every single division, though, and choose which team you like from that division, though. I think that is an interesting conversation. I'd say like Zach, in your division, I like the Falcons, but it's by proxy. I know you're a Falcons fan, so therefore I pay attention to them. The
Go on.
Eagles. Go on. I like the Eagles from that division. I obviously like the Steelers from mine. I like Buffalo from theirs.
Same Buffalo.
I like Indianapolis from theirs.
Titans for me.
Yeah, I like the
Or are we just picking like a favorite team in each division?
Yeah.
I like
Niners and theirs for me.
Niners and theirs. Niners, I could also go maybe side by side a little bit with maybe Arizona.
I wonder if there's a division where I genuinely don't like any of the teams. Probably that Giants, Eagles,
Yeah,
Redskins,
that's the division I
Cowboys.
like the least. I would say second place for the least like would be the. So I would choose the Bears from theirs, but
that division
I
sucks.
genuinely don't like the Packers. I genuinely don't like the Vikings. I have a soft spot for the Lions in the same way that I have a soft spot for any really bad team.
Right.
Like it'd be nice to see when you remember when the Lions were pretty okay and went to the playoffs with Matt Stafford. I was like, man, go Lions! Like let's do this. Let's go Lions.
They just seem so harmful even in the playoffs. I'm like, they're here, but they're not going to hurt nobody.
And it's because Matt Stafford just has that pretty soft face of his. You know what I'm talking about?
I feel bad for Matt Stafford.
I think that's just you, man.
Oh, just me? That's just me.
They're talking about going away from Matt Stafford.
Yeah, and the dude was starting like. That's what's crazy about Stafford and Cam Newton is before either of them got hurt, they looked as good as they've ever looked, if not better.
Mm-hmm.
And same with Alex Smith before he got probably a career-ending injury.
Yeah,
looked as good as he had ever looked.
But Stafford's got back and shoulder issues. I mean, that's from carrying an entire franchise on his back.
Yeah. Lions aren't light. So,
well, I mean, once what's his name retired too, Calvin.
Yeah.
I would have liked to seen one more season with Calvin and Matt Stafford.
And that's the thing is like, did Kenny Galladay play a season with
no.
Mega? He didn't,
no,
right?
That would have been awesome.
That would have been crazy, dude. That would have been crazy. Kenny Galladay, dude, go-to receiver.
Stafford and Johnson only overlapped one season, right?
Huh?
Or two?
No, they had a few years together.
Did they have a few years?
They had a few years.
Calvin Johnson, man, that's what Detroit's known for, is having these elite, once in a lifetime talents. That, I mean, Barry Sanders, Calvin Johnson. I mean, Calvin Johnson on any team could have been a Super Bowl champion easily.
Well, I've always said this. Always said it. Everyone knows this about me.
Everyone knows.
Also,
everyone knows that number one wide receivers in the league, top wide receivers, just don't win championships. If you want to have a Super Bowl winning team, you need to make sure you do not have an elite wide receiver on that team. It doesn't happen.
It's true.
When has the best receiver in the league ever won a Super Bowl?
Yeah.
Since the last
Jerry Rice would be the last.
Since Jerry Rice won one, yeah.
Jerry Rice was the last.
Right.
I mean, yeah, because like you look at the Patriots, who
they had a year with Randy Moss where they won one, but
I guess Michael Irvin.
I don't know. I don't know. Maybe he was the best player, best wide receiver.
I don't know. I don't remember that time. Jerry Rice was handily the best player in his time, though.
Well, that's the same time if you think about it. So Jerry Rice was better than Michael Irvin.
Yeah. Man, it's a good point.
Well, yeah, like
Calvin Johnson's so different from a lot of the number one receivers, though, because he isn't a loud, obnoxious guy.
He's not Antonio Brown.
He's a lot like Deion Sanders, actually. Mm-hmm. He was really soft-spoken. He's really humble. I've watched a couple interviews with him now. He's still like, he doesn't regret his took me a second. He doesn't regret his career with the Lions. He said he wouldn't have went anywhere else. He had options.
Real class act.
Class act.
Yeah. And now I'm just.
Have you seen his hands too?
Oh, I just want him to hold me like a baby.
His one of his fingers is just permanently bent to like one side.
Deion Sanders?
No, Calvin Johnson.
Deion Sanders has some weird toes.
It was funny that people with Calvin Johnson were like, dude's a pussy, quit early, like whatever.
I hate that.
The dude was destroyed. He was like 30, maybe 29.
I mean,
30.
and
But he was destroyed.
I hate Gronk, but I mean, I don't hold any ill will for the guy retiring early. I don't think he retired early. He retired when he needed to retire. If anything, Gronk played an extra season too long.
Yeah, that boy is broken.
That guy's beat up, man.
Yeah.
He started professional wrestling too early. That's for sure.
If
Come
JJ
on.
Watt announced today that he was going to retire for good, I wouldn't hold anything against JJ Watt.
I think
No, it's hurt every year.
I think he should.
Yeah. And actually, I watched him host SNL. He's got a career somewhere else waiting for him.
He's a
Good career. People like him. He's a funny dude.
Smooth shaft.
I said this on the last show. I would love to see JJ Watt go to Pittsburgh just for a season, like finish out with his brothers.
Do it. Like why? I mean, Houston's fucked now.
Yeah, I don't know what they're doing, man. They have taken a team that, when healthy, is Bill O'Brien's like always the last guy in. And that's what's kept his job, is he's managed to always be the last team into the playoffs a lot in his career. And he's just not a good coach. I don't know if you heard any of the stuff that he said to, I'd have to look it up again, but some of the stuff apparently that, who's the receiver that he traded to Arizona? DeAndre Hopkins?
Yeah, Hopkins, yeah.
The shit that DeAndre Hopkins was saying that Bill O'Brien said to him in a meeting was the number one reason that trade happened.
Wasn't he racist or said some like?
Yeah, he said some messed up stuff, and he referred to DeAndre Hopkinson's kids' parents as the baby mamas. He's like, I don't want you bringing your baby mamas around the clubhouse or whatever, and just a bunch of really weird stuff that you wouldn't really picture a coach saying to a player.
Exactly. Yeah. Well,
but the other thing that he said was the last time he said this to his face. He said the last time that he saw a player act the way that DeAndre Hopkins was acting was when he coached Aaron Hernandez.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Yeah, I did see that too.
Yeah. So
he compared him to a murderer.
Yeah, pretty standard, pretty run of the mill comment.
I wouldn't be shocked if DeAndre Hopkins has killed some people.
What I've learned from the documentaries is that you can't be surprised when anyone kills people.
Well, that's true, but also DeAndre Hopkins seems real hood.
Whoa. I don't know how people didn't see it with Aaron Hernandez. The dude was probably trying, at least attempting to kill people for a much longer than.
Yeah.
The dude was trying to kill people in college.
Yeah.
That's why Tim Tebow was praying so much.
We're they on the same team?
Yeah.
He's like, oh God, I hope I'm not next.
Oh, he's just
I haven't
praying
watched that documentary yet, but I really want to.
Oh man, yeah, they go back to like when they tried to actually interview Tim Tebow about any of it, because Tim Tebow, people forget that short stint that Tim Tebow had on the Patriots. Everyone forgets about that when the Patriots actually went and picked up Tim Tebow. So that was when they started asking him Aaron Hernandez questions, and Tim Tebow doesn't.
I did forget that. I forgot.
Yeah.
I didn't know he went to the Patriots. I didn't even see that. That wasn't even on my radar.
I knew.
Yeah, he played for the Patriots. But you know, Tim Tebow, because he's in character obviously all the time. I know he's a genuinely nice dude. Like I truly believe that. But he's also he's playing a role because he knows to always be politically correct when he's being interviewed. And they almost broke him with that Aaron Hernandez stuff.
Really?
Oh yeah, you could tell he was just like, you could tell he wanted to say, stop fucking asking me that question. But he did it in the most Christian, sassy way possible instead.
He's the worst, dude.
God. Yeah. Yeah. Like he basically told someone to fuck off and then like, God bless you. But that's
actually just how I'm going to start telling people to fuck off.
Yeah.
And I'm going to start it with God bless you, fuck off.
Yeah. Hey, God bless and go fuck yourself.
God, and actually, I'm not very religious, but God bless you and go fuck yourself.
Yeah, go fuck yourself. And then kiss him, open kiss him on the mouth.
Open mouth kiss him.
With my skinny little lips.
Sweet pursed bird lips.
Okay. We're on a subject here. We're talking about football. Robbie Anderson did go to the Panthers.
Yep. Sure.
There was some other
activity. There's been activity.
A little bit. There wasn't anything as much as the week before.
No, this week's been pretty dead. It all hits really early, and then there's those slow risers, slow rising stories, like what's going to happen with these last couple quarterbacks. I'm sure there's some other players that. We cut Devontae Freeman, and I'm wondering if he goes anywhere.
I bet he goes Here's the thing. I wish the Niners would cut McKinnon and pick up Freeman.
Oh, I would love to see
the
Bash
boys
together.
The boys.
You got to get the boys back together.
Why would you keep McKinnon? He hasn't played a single snap.
No, and Devontae Freeman started to look good again the last 4 or 5 games of the season last year. Like, okay, he's fully healthy and he's back. And
did he play the Niners game?
Yeah, and he looked good.
He ran good.
Yeah, he ran well. Yeah, you could tell the boys were motivated just to play against Sherman, or Shanahan, but yeah, man, I miss him. I miss him so much.
We're gonna have some stuff to talk about, especially when those 2 quarterbacks we keep talking about go somewhere. Winston and Cam.
Well, so speaking of something to prove, my boys, the Atlanta Falcons, have now 10 first-round draft picks on offense starting this upcoming season.
Oh, really?
All 5 linemen, 3 wide receivers. Calvin, we just got Treadwell from
Calvin Ridley
and Julio. So all 3 of our wide receivers.
I love Ridley, by the way.
We got Hunter Hurst from, which sounds like a WWE name.
It does. I was like, who?
He was the first round pick of the Ravens, but then Andrews just really stepped up because they got them both in the same draft. So they don't need to just pipe swinging motherfuckers. So, and then obviously Todd Gurley, Matt Ryan. So I actually don't know who the non-first rounder is on the entire offense. They said we only have one that isn't. I'm like, I don't know who that is.
So what do you think they're going to draft?
Defense for sure.
You think they're going to go defense because you think the offense is good enough?
Yeah, I mean, if we have 10 former first rounders who seem like they all have something to prove, because especially a couple of them like Gurley, I mean, their other teams gave up on him. They're going to have a fire under their ass this year.
Yeah.
But defensively, even with some of the acquisitions we made, I mean, we also got rid of our Trufant, Vic Beasley. I mean, we need a little bit more help on the defensive line. And then I would like another defensive back. And I hope that we really just hone in on that.
Yeah.
What about you guys, though? I mean, what do you want from your team? If I were a 49ers fan, I would want a stud wide receiver, a big boy, a saucy dog.
For the Niners?
Smooth shaft.
I honestly, I'd like, because I think the running backs are fine.
Agreed.
I think
you have too many.
Well, I think McKinnon needs to go. I think Raheem Mostert should be the starter. I think he should be I think he should start every snap. I know you guys love Tevin Coleman.
Uncle Tevin.
But I don't think he was better than Mostert at all. Every time Mostert had the ball, he was getting huge gains every time.
I think they both fit the offense really well.
Yeah. And they both do different things. I don't know.
Yeah. So I think they do need to move on from McKinnon, but I believe Mostert might be a free agent. That's the problem, is that do they want to pay when they know that almost any running back they plug in there works? That's the big thing.
I don't think so, man. Because you look at Matt Breida, he's pretty good, but he didn't do I don't think he did half as much production as
Well, that's the other thing, is that they also have Breida under contract. So they're the type of offense where almost anything works. Yeah. And in today's NFL, people just don't pay running backs because the next guy up almost always, if you have a good running game, the Steelers are a good example. If you have a good running game, next guy up always does well. Now they got so banged up that.
So that's what I'm going to talk about. So I was going
to ask you what you want. So, what's on your draft?
I want to add to James Conner. I don't want to replace him, but I want to go back to a style where we saw like Willie Parker and Jerome Bettis give us like a nice 1-2 punch. I would like to see them add another running back that they can alternate with James Conner. I think James Conner is a great running back. I don't think he's the star. I think we need a nice running back, especially if we're going to try to get. I think Ben did a 3-year contract. We've seen one gone.
Yeah,
we've got 2 left. If we want to see Ben even try to make a play in his last 2 years, I think you bring in one nice, like good running back to work with James Conner and help deliver a nice 1-2 punch. I'd say James Conner is probably a little more of a speed back, so I'd probably like a strong back.
Okay. I mean, now it seems like you can't have enough of like the speedy guys who can catch out of the backfield. So it just seems like that's where the NFL is going. They just load up on that. So I wouldn't be surprised if we saw you can get running backs like that later in the draft too. So
I'm just harking back to the days when you had like Jerome Bettis and Willie Parker, you know.
Well,
Willie
and so
Parker was a no name, you know.
Right. And you guys have always been good at plugging in no names. Even at wide receiver, you guys find 3rd, 4th, 5th round wide receivers that you turn into
I think
stars.
where we're sitting right now with wide receivers, even for last year, for how bad that season was, I think wide receiver, we're set right now.
So you guys got Juju. Who else?
A bunch of no names
from Oklahoma State.
I remember I picked someone up on a bye week in fantasy.
The wide receiver, honestly, those wide receivers, like Juju was supposed to be the star, which, you know, like that's without Antonio Brown. Juju did great, but I think having other wide receivers there, I think those other guys stepped up. I think the wide receiver core is great. I mean, play-wise, I would like to see Pittsburgh go to the tight ends more. I mean, how do we have Vance McDonald? We're not using that more often.
You guys went and got
Vance.
You guys went and got what's his name from the Colts?
Yeah, exactly.
What is his name? Tight end
Ebron.
Eric Ebron. Yeah, he's
and then last year they picked up the guy from Seattle too. They picked up a tight end from Seattle.
Oh yeah, I know. They're like.
It wasn't Wilson. Wilson's still in Seattle.
No, it was.
Well, I don't know. We know where Vance is from.
Vance Refrigeration.
I do know that. Yeah. Vance Refrigeration.
Well, so that's So you want to get it back?
Yeah, I want to get it back. I think defense wise, I think we're there. I don't think they need to add anything else at this point.
I think the top rated back in the draft this year is DeAndre Swift from Georgia. It might not be him, actually. That probably is DeAndre Swift. There's a guy from LSU who's pretty good also. I think a lot of people have him.
Will he go in the second, though? Because we don't have any picks in the first.
Yeah, Clyde Edwards from LSU will go in the second. Some people think that the running back from Georgia will actually go in the first round. And then if you're trying to get someone like later in the draft, there's Cam Akers from Florida State. And then there is who I really like. If you wanted like a 3rd round draft pick, it's J.K. Dobbins from Ohio State. Would be just a steal of a deal in the 3rd round. And then Jonathan Taylor, the only college running back to ever have, I believe, 3 2,000-yard seasons in college. So
I think defense wise, I'm finally satisfied with what Pittsburgh has. I mean, the defense really, they fell apart a few of those games. I think Pittsburgh should have beat the 49ers. I think Pittsburgh should have beat the Seahawks.
Well, come on now.
Man, dude,
come on now.
There were so many turnovers in that San Francisco game. There's no reason why. If Pittsburgh would have had, well, for one thing, if Pittsburgh would have had been healthy, all those turnovers, that was the most turnovers they got in one game.
Well, that's that defense, though, baby.
No, that's what I mean. So, like defense-wise, I'm feeling good. Offense-wise, we couldn't answer back with anything. There was nothing there.
I was stressed as fuck watching that game. I was also eating hot wings. I was eating I don't even really remember the game. I did Da Bomb and I did Mad Dog. And
How
then
can you eat the bomb?
well, because I'm a sick fuck.
But I mean, the Steelers in that game, like they still held their own against, the team that went to the Super Bowl.
Well, that's the thing. Yeah,
But man, the offense just could not answer back. Mason Rudolph is trash.
Yeah.
Yeah, your defense. I think the Steelers and the Bills defense were on par with any other team in the entire league this year.
And TJ Watt, man, he is such a good player. I like the Watt brothers though. I mean, I do.
I do. I have zero.
I'm outspoken on how much I like all of them.
What makes him better than his brother is that he stays healthy.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So you got the healthy boy.
Mm.
Although I still would entertain. I would entertain a JJ Watt play. Just to have all 3 Watts.
I don't see why he doesn't, dude.
I think he makes too much money in Houston. That's the only thing.
But you have to deal with all those natural disasters because Texas should just fall off the earth,
or create their own,
or be their own country.
I don't know if you've ever been to Texas, but they think they are.
No, I have been to Texas.
10 out
of 10. 10 out of 10. Would never want to go back.
Don't say that.
Give no fucks to. I'm sorry.
He doesn't mean it.
I do mean it. I'm sorry. I went to Dallas, dude. I went there for work, dude. It's awful. That place is trash.
It's my favorite country in the world.
As my good friend Ben Gomez says, I'll never go back to Texas because it rains fucking mud there.
Who says that?
Ben Gomez, the guy that looks silly without his glasses from last week.
Oh, yeah. From last week's show.
Ben Schneider too.
I don't know a Ben Schneider.
You don't?
Dude, I don't remember. I honestly don't remember. Like,
there's so many people I need to introduce you to that I feel like you would just love.
Like, would I bang them?
Oh yeah.
Like, I'm surprised none of us have banged.
I'm surprised none of you remember it.
I'm surprised none of you guys remember banging.
Yeah. So I never really actually answered my question on the Niners draft.
Can I add one more?
Yes.
Yes. I'd like a nice back. I would also like to replace Mason Rudolph and Duck and whoever, not necessarily in the draft.
Anybody else.
But I would like a decent backup quarterback who perhaps could be the star later on. Like somebody who we can actually look to, who wants to learn from Ben, who's like we all know that Ben is not the best guy to get along with. Somebody who comes in there looking to work with Ben to become a good quarterback so that when he leaves, he can take over.
Why don't people like to work with Ben?
Well, because Ben goes on that radio show and calls out his teammates. That's what it is.
Well, I mean, I think that should happen more often. I mean, if your teammate's a bitch, they need to know it.
Honestly, do you know where I see Ben in the next 5 years? I see him as the quarterback's coach for the Steelers.
He's a good quarterback, man.
If you saw him, I mean, so this season, was just seeing him on the sidelines. It just looked right. Mm-hmm. Seeing him on the sidelines with his big old gut and his giant beard, wearing his hoodie, he looked the part. He looked like he'll be in the front office somehow.
He's the Hulk version of Bill Belichick.
Yeah,
in that fucking hoodie. Just
Zach, you said something along the same lines too, though. I mean, like, didn't it just feel natural for you when you saw Ben? Like, it looked. And I also know that Ben gets along with Mike Tomlin really well. I could see that being a thing where, he's the quarterback's coach, maybe eventually the offensive coordinator.
Yeah.
That's where I see Ben going.
I mean, they've definitely cranked out a few, like Byron Leftwich being a good example, former backup for Ben forever.
I miss him as a backup.
Yeah, I just want him to just invite me over and hold me like a baby in times like these.
I love Byron Leftwich.
Baby.
But I will say the 49ers, back to that, 49ers, by way of the Indianapolis Colts via trade, do have the 13th pick in the draft. So they do have the Colts first rounder.
Oh, they did. Okay, yeah, because they traded Mr. Buck.
Yeah, so
receiver.
Who are the Colts going for? Oh, the Colts have Phil.
I saw a
yeah.
mock draft. It was the receiver
CeeDee Lamb
from
from Oklahoma.
Oklahoma.
Lamb from Oklahoma. And if he's gone, because they're definitely not going to get Jerry Jeudy. Jerry Jeudy will probably go just barely before. Jerry Jeudy, by the way, is since Julio Jones is the best wide receiver draft prospect to come out of Alabama or any other college. But Henry Ruggs.
Phil, do we have is Uncle Phil will start? Do we have Jacoby Brissett as his starters?
Yes.
Still.
They basically have implied that unless someone throws out a real meaty offer, aka a first couple round pick, that they want to keep on to both. They want Brissett as the backup unless someone's willing to offer, I would say, a second round pick.
I don't know, man. I like Jacoby Brissett, but I don't know. He's dog shit.
I don't think he's very good.
As somebody who doesn't have a very good backup, I'd look at Jacoby Brissett for Pittsburgh.
Mm-hmm. I mean, he is better than Mason and Duck.
I still would go if I knew Duck was going to lose every single game, as opposed to Mason Rudolph. I still would go with Duck.
Yeah, Mason just has that stupid.
Based on Mason alone, I just don't like him. I just don't want him to play. I don't want him to be on my team.
Well, there's plenty of options out there. There's a Cam Newton guy. There's a Jameis Winston.
I've already said it. You guys already know how I feel about Cam Newton. Bring him to Pittsburgh.
Bring him to Pittsburgh.
You want to feel that girth.
I think you should want Jameis Winston because
either of them. I say either. I say Cam because he's the same. I say Cam because I think he could learn a lot from Ben. Ben played not the exact same way, but he was way more mobile when he first started. But Ben has gotten a lot better at playing like a big quarterback. He doesn't do the same kind of mobile stuff he did anymore. It took time. He learned. And I think that if Cam Newton had an open heart and an open mind, he could come in an open butt. He could come in and learn from Ben how to be a big quarterback. I've been saying that since we started this show. That Cam Newton could come into Pittsburgh, and if he would be open to learning from somebody else, he can learn how to play like a big guy and not take the type of hits that he takes. He's got a good arm.
So you say that, but I think Cam Newton's too prideful. I think it's too big. He's kind of a douche.
Yeah, he's a douchebag. I don't think he's going to go anywhere as a backup. I don't think he'll do that.
Yeah, he's a douchebag.
He's a douche. But Jameis will, so I think that's why it's easier. I think even though Jameis Winston has a lot of pride, you can tell he's super prideful. I think he realizes he might have to earn his keep somewhere. And Cam Newton, this is what I think Cam's going to have to do because the musical chairs has already been played, right? The teams that wanted quarterbacks got quarterbacks, and the ones who didn't, it's because they're going to draft one.
Here's why I think Jameis Winston could be a Steeler. Here's why I think he could be.
Because of that girth worm he's got.
His penis?
I'm gonna hark back to when Pittsburgh took Michael Vick.
Yeah.
Who the dog killer?
Yes.
The GOAT.
I'm not gonna let people forget.
You're one of those.
And I've been fighting bringing up Ben's past, but we'll just leave that to mystery.
I mean, it is what it is. I want to win football games, and
sorry, go ahead.
But prior to Ben, I had Cordell Stewart, man. Like that, it was a long road to get Ben. So I'm not dismissing Ben's past, but
oh no, that's in the past now. We don't have to talk about that.
As a fan of that team,
how was that? Was that scary though when it was all going down?
Well, I mean, I thought we'd lose the quarterback, and also, I mean, the whole thing is fishy, anyways. Like I won't get into that because I don't want to lose my job, but the whole thing is that's just a bad situation.
Big old fish stick.
Yeah,
mouthful of fish sticks.
I'm a Kobe fan, so for me, it's you throw that at me, it's the same conversation.
And then also, I mean, we've been talking about Jameis Winston too, but let's not keep in mind that young man got in trouble just a year and a half ago.
Oh yeah. Oh well, then he'd fit right in over in.
He's also a guy that in college stood on a cafeteria table and yelled at a girl to flash everyone her pussy. So
he did.
Not a great.
Did she do it?
you know what? What's funny is anytime that someone goes, "Can you believe the audacity of this guy?" I go, "But she did that though, right?"
so you asked exactly what I asked.
Yeah.
I think Jameis. My point was I think Jameis Winston would fit in well with Pittsburgh with his style of play. I think Mike Tomlin is attracted to that style of player. Just the fact that they picked up Michael Vick. It was a season, wasn't it? One season.
Well, it was a season.
And he's always let Ben take risk. Like, why not have another quarterback who's willing to take risk? But I think what people tend to be leaning towards is that Winston needs somewhere that's going to corral him a little bit more. Where I say Pittsburgh would probably just tell him to rip it, just go in there.
But that's the thing is, I like when Jameis rips it. I like when he just throws it down the field.
Yeah, he literally just puts it all on the line.
And it's going to be kind of sad because Brady can't do that with Godwin or
People say that, but I disagree. People say that, but I disagree. From what I've seen?
Oh, go ahead.
From what I've seen, Tom Brady, like, that arm is still there. If not,
I know, but he just doesn't. He doesn't like to do it.
I think he doesn't like to do it because he hasn't had anyone to do it. Julian Edelman doesn't take a top off a defense.
That's true. That's true.
They just haven't had the guys. Tom Brady is going to put up stats. I'm saying it right now. Tom Brady is going to probably throw for 5,000 yards this year.
Okay, I think the Buccaneers make it to the playoffs.
All right, so let's go.
I don't. They're in the toughest division in football, but
Derek, you had something to say.
Yeah, you did.
What I was going to say is you get Jameis Winston in there. Now, what if we have a Jameis Winston on a team like Pittsburgh who has a really excellent offensive line?
Yeah.
I mean, they gave Duck and Mason Rudolph 9 seconds to throw that ball, man. That's a millennium.
And they still fucked it up.
They still fucked it up. Now, what if you give somebody like Jameis Winston who can throw touchdown passes? I mean, he's thrown a lot of interceptions, but what if you give him a little bit of time? Does he improve?
I agree. And not only that, but we're talking about the first round is thick with wide receivers this year. But because it also means a lot of those guys that would normally be like second, third round talents are going to drop even further. And who's better at drafting third to fifth round wide receivers better than Pittsburgh? They're gonna steal someone in this draft.
Nope, no one. They draft third round, fourth round wide receivers and turn them into stars.
Yep, consistently. So I don't know. I would be excited for the draft if I was you guys, which they announced this week is still happening. Same day, they're not pushing it. So
I like Jameis to Pittsburgh over Cam Newton now.
I 100% agree. I honestly think.
Ooh, curve! I thought you were going to say disagree. You paused.
No, I 100% agree that I think Jameis would be a better fit. I don't give a shit where Cam Newton goes.
No,
motherfucker. Let me watch the Broncos just win a Super Bowl for no reason. Like I hate Cam Newton so much.
What if Cam Newton goes to the Broncos?
Well, that'd be perfect.
Good. He. Dude, that was like one of the most upsetting Super Bowls to watch, man.
What I think Cam Newton's going to do, or I don't think he's going to do it. If I was Cam Newton, what I would do is I wouldn't sign with a team right now.
Mm-hmm.
I'd chill because one of these starting quarterbacks is going to get hurt. It happens every year. If you want to steal a job from someone, you don't go there now.
I think he should go to the XFL.
Well, then he's going to have to wait a whole nother year.
I mean, that's a whole nother year he can get healthy.
But isn't it interesting that two of our XFL babies have already been signed?
Well, hold on. I was going to bring that up. But so the Niners, you think they'll do a wide receiver?
Oh, guaranteed.
In the draft. And I agree.
That's why they wanted that 13th pick, baby.
I am satisfied with the backs they have. And I didn't say this, but I think that team is pretty well rounded. So I mean, anything
defensively, they're really good.
Yeah,
anything they add is a plus.
Yeah. My biggest, I hope Richard Sherman just hasn't. Is he on contract? Do you guys know if he's?
Yeah, he's still there.
Okay. I hope he comes back and has another killer year.
He'll come back.
I know he's gonna. I hope he comes back with a.
He will. He'll come back with a vengeance.
And I think a lot. I mean, and I understand. Honestly, you look at the play with him in the Super Bowl when Tyreek Hill just fucking broke his ankles. It's Tyreek Hill, man. You can't people try to talk shit about Richard Sherman on that, but it's Tyreek Hill.
Right. He does that to everybody.
Yeah. So on the draft, you guys, wide receiver. And what I wanted to say was I think they're just such a well-rounded team that it doesn't matter who they draft.
When are we going to do our 2 early Super Bowl picks there, Zach? I know we're way early to talk about it right now because it's March.
I don't know. Probably the end of preseason. That's when I like to do it because I like to. Someone always gets hurt in preseason that changes the whole landscape of everything. So,
yeah,
it's safe to.
I'm looking forward to it. That's why I asked. I mean, it's a lot of fun. But
it's the best part of the year.
And Sean will get to do that with us this year, which I'm really.
Well, no, I always have. So
yeah, he's always
right.
Yeah, don't you remember how he picked the Kansas City Chiefs last year?
Fuck you.
You remember?
I didn't. You guys did.
I
didn't. So XFL players have been going to the NFL.
Yeah,
a lot actually.
We knew they would.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. PJ Walker went to Carolina.
Yeah, PJ Walker went to Carolina to back up Bridgewater.
It would have been really nice to see how this played out without COVID-19, honestly, though, to see how many XFL players.
It could have been more. It could have been even more.
Right,
it's insane.
But then, do you finish out the year at the XFL when you sign with an NFL team, or do you leave as soon as you sign that contract?
Mm-hmm.
You're making that NFL money now, baby. Why risk it?
I don't know how that looks. Yeah.
Well, and there's no guarantee they're going to be permanent fixtures on these NFL teams. They could be the 3rd or 4th string quarterback, and they could end up getting cut, and then they're right back in the XFL.
They could be on the practice team.
Well, and most of these guys were practice team guys beforehand, right? Like PJ Walker. So, but I'm rooting for him now. I think what the XFL did do is it created kind of just a platform to start liking new guys, like the underdog. Every XFL player who makes the NFL is an underdog now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And
Tamu to the Chiefs.
That's why I was wondering if we'd see, if the season would have played out, could we have seen Landry Jones go back in?
No, dude, he got benched for Dallas. Dallas didn't even keep him, dude. He couldn't keep an XFL job. That's what was funny about the XFL is they marketed they tried to really push their stars, which were like Cardell, Landry Jones. They even tried to make what's his name from the Raiders, the McGloin. All of them got benched.
Yeah. McGloin literally got benched and replaced by a dude who watched YouTube to figure out how to be a quarterback.
Yeah, he went to not the real Texas A&M, but Texas A&M different place. Yeah. And
the dental hygiene side of the school.
Yeah, in a different town. Dentist. Yeah, well, that's what's really funny. Yeah, exactly. No, he did. And so then all of a sudden he's like, I could play in the XFL, and then was better than McGloin and a former.
Yeah, I mean, and they had won games. He had won 2 games, I think, before.
Right.
Yep.
He went to Texas A&M, Nebraska.
Yes.
Great school. Texas A&M, not in Texas.
Uh-huh.
What's the best one? IUPUI? Indiana, Indiana University, Purdue University, Indianapolis?
Yeah.
Yeah.
BYU, Idaho.
BYU, Idaho. But I mean, that makes sense. At least it doesn't say Utah on the name.
Yeah, that's true.
That's the one benefit there.
Did we lose you, Sean?
He's probably just taking a dump. That's what I said when you were gone too. That's just my new thing now.
I had to go get more beer. I did sign up for StreamYard while we were doing the show. So
we're already there.
Yeah, we'll be there next week.
$25 a month.
Yeah, it's $10 more than what we're paying right now for a Zoom. So might as well do it.
Zoom, you had one chance, you squandered it. I'm sorry, we don't want you to sponsor us anymore.
Yeah, but we'll have the nice overlays when we
Which
do.
I like.
Me too.
I do like that.
Good, yeah. I mean, no. Our show on Friday or Thursday, the Times Before Early show looked great. It looked awesome.
It did. It almost sucked me into the entire episode just because I like the production value of it.
It just looked good, yeah. And Ward's already made us overlays for this show.
Oh, I know. I saw one of them.
They look great. Yeah. He posted that one though with the overlay on there.
The only one I don't like, the only part of it I didn't love, because I love the red and I like that our Twitter stuff's on the left and then the picture of the three of us is on the right, but I don't like the font for sports program. It's the only thing I would change. So if you want to take a note.
Are we taking notes?
Although beggars can't be choosers, so do whatever. Also do whatever the fuck you want.
You should try making this one too.
So I had to pee.
Yeah, I mean, I have a bunch of tools that, like Illustrator would be, obviously Illustrator is a tool designed to do that from Adobe. So
yeah,
I
sent us two, and they both look pretty good.
But everything else about it, I really liked.
Yeah, it's gonna be awesome.
What are we talking about?
So we while you were gone, I let Zach know I did do StreamYard. We'll be on there. We'll be with that next week.
Oh, so what made the final push? Because Zoom failed us today?
Yeah, and because I looked at these overlays he sent me, and I was like, man, these would be nice to use this.
So Ward, he did it.
Yeah.
He won.
Yeah.
You won, bud.
Good for you.
I think he has to make me new overlays to work with. We'll figure it out. But
they
just look good.
Yeah,
but they just look better.
I like the on his other show. I do like those like flag names that he used. They're like flags, but then they say the name inside the flag, and then he used like a mustard yellow color and like I think like a crimson.
I'm gonna have a diarrhea.
Money.
I want a diarrhea green for me.
Okay.
Yeah, I've always if you ask me, I've always said Sean's a diarrhea green guy.
Yeah. I mean,
I've always said that.
It's right there. Look at it.
Can we? How are we on football?
I don't give a shit.
I mean, let me think. Hold on. Yeah, because there's nothing going on. So, I think.
Well, then I would like to switch gears.
Okay, I'm ready.
Whatever you want, baby.
We announced it on Thursday night. We announced it last week on this show. Smart Mark Wrestling Radio will be a thing starting next Thursday, April 2nd. It's the real deal. Dusty Katzenberger, myself, and Chris Huddleston, Huds McGruber. We're gonna start a show talking about wrestling. I think you guys would actually even like the show. We're gonna talk about. We're gonna start. We made a little like outline. Even we're gonna recap AEW and WWE, but then we're gonna choose a topic to talk about for the remainder of the show. Basically, we're going to take a look at top 5, like each of our top 5 best wrestlers, top 5 most underrated. I mean, there's a ton of different topics we're going to do. Died before their time. We're talking about even doing a wrestler profile where we go A to Z, where we choose a different wrestler every week, where we do a profile. There's a lot of stuff we have planned for the show. The reason why I want to bring it up on this show is because I don't have that show yet, and WrestleMania is going to be.
Oh, so you're using?
I think it's April 6th.
You're using us. This way.
You're using me.
But we're still going to talk about it.
No. So
WrestleMania this year will be a lot different because of COVID-19, obviously. They've been doing shows Mondays and Fridays still, and Wednesdays where they're.
Did you watch last
audience? I did not. I don't ever watch SmackDown.
Really? That's weird because when it moved to Friday, we definitely followed it on the show, and I knew we were both hyped for it to be on Friday, and then
and I haven't watched it.
So YouTube TV, because it knows that I've watched it a few times now, it puts it on like when I turn YouTube TV on like last night when I turned it on.
Well, I was having issues with my YouTube TV as well.
Yeah, but I can't watch this format currently at all.
Oh yeah,
not on Fridays.
I talked about it on last week, but AEW is doing a lot more with the no audience. It looks a lot better. The ramp is shorter. They're doing more in the backstage. I mean, it's just better. They're making lemonade out of lemons. It's good. WWE has not adapted well to the no audience because of COVID-19. However, WrestleMania sounds interesting this year. They've already taped a lot of the segments. They're pre-taping pretty much everything because why not? Why would you make it live? What's the point of that if you don't have an audience or a crowd? Then what does it matter? So they're pre-taping it, which could be cool because from what I've heard and from what I've read, they're putting a lot of production value into the matches and into the vignettes that go in before the matches. And as Zach knows, the vignettes are actually some of my favorite part about wrestling. It's the storytelling, where they take clips from everything that's happened over the last couple months. They put it together. I mean, the vignettes are by far my favorite thing that goes into a wrestling match. They're really good at hyping a match right before you watch the match.
Right. And for people like me, where it's maybe one of only 3 pay-per-views or that you watch a year, that you get right back into the story without having to go and say, well, I didn't watch the last like 3 weeks of whatever.
Oh yeah, you can watch WrestleMania once a year, and as long as you're semi-familiar with some of the wrestlers on there, if you watch the vignettes, you could already go, all right, this is who I'm supposed to root for. This is who I'm supposed to root against. This is, like those vignettes are genius. Those guys, those video editors are really good at what they do.
So this is what I'm wondering though, if there's going to be a SmackDown the night before and it's pre-recorded, is it supposed to be taking place after the SmackDown? You know what I mean? And the timing of everything.
Yes, because I think it is supposed to be Saturday and Sunday this year. They're doing 2 days.
Right.
Instead of 1 6-hour live event, I think they're doing 2 days instead. Each one of the matches is supposed to have some production value to it, where it's not like you're watching a normal wrestling match, but maybe more like you're watching a TV show where they put production value into it and have changed it up. It's supposed to look completely different than what we're used to. They're using a few camera angles that the Ring of Honor has been using forever. Some people spoke out against it. I think it looks good. I think you got to do what you can. It's going to be completely different.
Do you think there's going to be a sex scene?
If there's not, I'm unsubscribing.
So that's the other thing, Sean, is that it's free.
It's
WWE
free.
is giving
If there isn't, I'm gonna subscribe.
We don't have to because it's free.
So here's some of the stuff I've seen this week. I've seen that Roman Reigns might not be wrestling because of his leukemia stuff. He doesn't know if he should. I think they did announce that he was not going to be he was supposed to be in the title match with Goldberg, but because of the COVID-19 stuff, he doesn't know if it's a good idea for him to do it.
I wouldn't chance it.
Yeah. So that'll change it up a little bit. They're saying the John Cena and the Fiend Bray Wyatt match is going to have a lot of production value to it, which actually makes sense.
Will that be the main event? It should be. I wish it was.
I mean, it should be now. I think that match could go through a lot of production stuff, which could be really cool.
That has to.
Fiend Bray Wyatt has so much. There's so many layers to that character that I think something pre-recorded with some production value could be really cool. Also, I mean, it's just gonna be nice to see John Cena wrestle. Nice to see him come back, do a little thing, then he'll go away.
John Cena, you can bring the whole family.
You don't like John Cena though, right?
Oh, I love John Cena as an actor and as a person.
Yeah,
I've never been a John Cena guy.
I love him. When he drank PBR on the Tonight Show or whatever.
I've always been more of a it's hard to be a Cena guy because I've always been a CM Punk guy.
What is it you like about CM Punk? Is it because he represents an entire generation?
He's the voice of the voiceless, man. He shoots.
He literally
that is what I like about him, is that he shoots. instead of getting on there and doing a script and doing this whole thing, he gets on there and just speaks from a personal level. He's gotten in trouble multiple times doing it. I think that's what I like about him is that his name's CM Punk, but he's Phil Brooks. Everybody knows it. Everybody's seen behind the curtains. I like his style of wrestling. Also, although I'm drinking beers and I'm like fucking 10 in right now.
10?
I loved the whole straight edge savior thing that CM Punk did for a while. I thought that was hilarious, especially as somebody who in his young high school days identified as a straight edge person.
You did?
I think it's funny. Oh yeah. I was an avid non-drinker until I
didn't start drinking until I was 21.
I was 21. Yeah.
I didn't start until I was 14. Avidly.
So did you drink through high school?
Me or him?
Well, obviously not him. We've already established that.
I have been actively drinking since I was 14.
Well, there's just
what though is sorry, Sean.
No, go ahead.
Zach, though, you so I'm years older than you. So when we became friends, you were still in high school, and I knew you drank and stuff. And of course, I was at that time because I was over 21. But you were never obnoxious about it or annoying about it, and so that was the type of people in high school that I hated. Were the people who were really annoying about drinking all the time. So you drank in high school, but I never had you pegged as somebody who was obnoxious about it. And anytime that we ever did stuff together, like for ASD, we were never like hammered or anything like that. I mean, we played those shows.
Right.
We played those shows stone sober.
Every time. Yeah.
Every single show. I never drank prior to those shows, not even one time.
Well, I did have a lot of older friends like the entire way through. So I
think that must be
where it fell into the weird high school obnoxious drinking phase.
Yeah. So even though you drank in high school, I still don't have you placed as one of the people that I hated back when I was in high school. And being a part of the straight edge thing though, like, like people who are straight edge were really annoying.
Yeah. No. So I have a couple of friends that were straight edge.
They're still the worst.
Yeah. So I liked the CM Punk thing where he did the straight edge savior thing where he would get in the middle of the ring and just tear apart the audience for drinking and stuff because he was so good. He was just so much better than them because he never drank. The other part of that, Sean, is I love a heel, and that's well known. I always root for the bad guy. I love the heels. I think if I ever did wrestling, which by the way, if you ask Derek from ages 10 to ages 17, I was going to be a professional wrestler. That's what I wanted to do. And I always wanted to be a bad guy. I never would have been a good guy.
Heel. Yeah, I mean, you don't seem like a villain, but you seem like a villain.
Yeah, like I would want to be a villain because it's fun. Actually, there's a lot of stories about Owen Hart prior to him passing away because he was a heel almost the entire time he was in wrestling. There's so many stories about him being the sweetest, nicest guy, super funny behind the scenes. Like, I think there's something to that. It's just like guys who are like super funny and like actually pretty nice guys, but they're good at they're actors.
Yeah.
And like Owen Hart was always a villain, but there's so many stories. Like Mick Foley was he was like best friends with Owen Hart.
He might be one of my favorite people of all time.
I love Mick Foley so much.
Oh yeah.
Roddy, Mick Foley. Oh, yeah. Legends.
Oh, actually, this Thursday on the show, on our first episode of Smart Mark Wrestling Radio, we're gonna do a recap of this past week of so Monday, Wednesday, And then we're going to talk about the week before. We'll talk a little bit about like how COVID has changed it. I want to talk a little bit about the lemon from lemonade stuff. I haven't gotten into details from it, but I have something planned. But then we're going to talk about our top 5 favorite wrestlers. So each one of us will give our top 5 favorite, but then we are going to talk about basically, because it's the first episode, we're going to talk about like where we are and who we like. So that's kind of the reason why we're doing our top 5, is to establish who we are as hosts. I'll give a little spoiler on here. I think Zach knows full well most of the wrestlers I like, but The Undertaker is obviously, he's my favorite wrestler of all time. Even in his old ass age, I still love The Undertaker. But CM Punk would be in my top 5 because I love his heel gimmicks. Daniel Bryan as a face and a heel, I love. So there's a few of them there. But then for like old school, I mean like Macho Man.
Right, number 1.
Oh man, Macho Man.
I did watch something popped up on my Facebook. It was the first WrestleMania, I think is what it was. Hulk Hogan, Macho Man, what's his name? Giant.
Andre the Giant, and some other guy that I recognized. I don't remember his name.
Oh yeah.
It was the one where Hulk Hogan came up.
Me Gene. Oh, fucking, I just love him.
Well, Macho Man was in the sleeper hold, and Hulk Hogan got up and smacked him with the chair when the ref was turned around. And I think that was the first WrestleMania.
Mega powers, man. So anyway, I'm really excited to do the show this Thursday. I'm really excited to do this wrestling show. We've been wanting to do it. We want to have guests. We're gonna bring in Zach as a guest for sure.
Well, you know who
I don't know much about
my list of 5 is 1 deep, and his name's Seth Rollins.
Oh yeah.
Ooh. Mine's Chris Jericho.
Oh, I love Jericho.
I'm joking.
You don't like Jericho? I love Jericho.
No, I don't fucking know, man. I don't hate wrestling. I just don't keep up.
I just saw Jericho in what movie did I just see him in? He plays a white supremacist. It was freaking hilarious.
I mean, I think Stone Cold, I think Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Oh yeah,
of all time.
Stone Cold, yeah. I mean, Jericho is so amazing because he can redefine his character every 5 years and still stay relevant. The guy's almost 50, and on AEW, he's still excellent. Le Champion.
So he is still around.
Oh yeah, he's on AEW.
Who's the guy that killed his family?
Chris Benoit. He's not around.
He's super dead. That's what you're trying to say. Oh, he was on Jay and Silent Bob Strike, the reboot.
Jericho? Yeah, he was.
Yeah. Yep. Was he? That's awesome. I'll have to check that out.
Was he one of the holograms, or was he?
No, he was He was the leader of the white supremacists.
Oh, he was. Yeah, he was the racist.
That's hilarious. I'll have to watch.
And he was really good. No, the movie kind of starts really cheesy, like all of.
It's so good. It's so good.
It's so good. It starts really cheesy, but it gets really fucking good.
I pre-ordered it.
It's good.
I pre-ordered it off Legion. I got it the day it came out.
It's on it's on a bunch of shit, right? Like it's on Amazon Prime for free.
Yeah, it is now. Yeah.
It's on Amazon Prime for free. So
it's free. I'll have to watch it.
We're sponsored by Kevin Smith. Go watch Jay and Silent Bob Reboot.
Yeah.
I would recommend you guys watching WrestleMania this year. I think it'll be really good.
When is it?
I think it's next weekend.
Well, you know this, but because of you, this will be by force.
So here's the thing: if we all linked up on here, we didn't stream it. You could share it to all of us, right?
Oh yeah.
Or I guess Zach doesn't have to, but we could.
You can watch it all together
if you guys want.
That actually would be great because that's how I like to watch those. I don't know if so. This is something that we used to do for WrestleManias. Also, we haven't got to do for a long time. And I was wanting to relaunch it this year, but everything happened with COVID. But I want to do a white trash theme WrestleMania party.
Okay, so I'm down. I am down. Can we stream it? I
don't know how that works.
If it's free right now, who knows? But still probably no, because they want your login information. Like that's what they really want by giving it for free, is they want you to forget. And then when it's not free, they want to charge you.
I mean, I've watched the Joe Rogan Reacts stuff, though, where it's just him reacting to it, where you don't get to actually watch it.
Where he watches the MMA fights and you can hear him talking about it. They're good. Honestly, if there's a card that Joe Rogan is not commenting on. So Joe Rogan doesn't do any of the non pay-per-views, and he doesn't do anything out of the country anymore. So he said, for UFC, I will only do American pay-per-views. Basically, if it's not in Vegas or Houston or New York, I'm not doing it. And but because of that, now we have a ton of opportunities to anytime he's not the color commentator, you can go to YouTube and you can watch him watch the fight live, and it's fucking awesome.
I think I'd rather do that because I kind of just only like Joe Rogan.
Right. Well, I'm not gonna lie. When I started to like the sport, Joe Rogan saying and doing funny things was honestly like he's not afraid to say something that no other commentator would say. Yeah. And so it was perfect. But I mean, obviously along the way I ended up really liking the sport. But I believe it's the April 18th card, which is the Khabib fight. So it's like the next really big one, right? The UFC clearly feels bad, so it seems like Dana White, what he's doing is all these fights that are getting canceled coming up, he's pushing all of the main events to that card and just fully stacking it, right?
I fucking hate him, by the way.
Yeah, I don't really like him either, but he's fully stacking the card with all these like big names. So it's going to be a massive card, and it's going to be in the US, but Joe Rogan goes, "Oh, I'm not doing it." They're like, "Well, it's in the US, like it's going to be the biggest card of the year." And he's like, "Yeah, I'm not doing it." He's like background on this. Khabib, Tony Ferguson, who are truly the two best 155ers. For a while, people were tricked into Conor being in the top, So
you don't like Conor, right?
But he's probably third. He's probably third or fourth in the weight class.
But you don't like him.
I'm starting to.
I love him.
I'm starting to. The thing is like now that he's lost a couple times, he's been really humbled to me. I think
that's good.
And so then for him to be really humbled by everything that's happened and then to come back and really just manhandle Cowboy in like 30 seconds.
But everybody thinks that's rigged.
I don't think you could. Cowboy's been wanting that fight for half of a decade. Like there's no way he's throwing it.
I don't know why people think any of that shit would be rigged. Like they're literally, this isn't wrestling. They're hitting each other. Like,
you can die. People have died from getting kicked in the liver. Not in the octagon, but in other MMA, around the world. Yeah. But obviously it's not rigged. But yeah, so they're really trying to juice up this card. But background on Tony Ferguson Khabib, back to that. They've tried to make it happen, I believe, before now 5 times. So this is the 6th time they've tried to make this fight happen. And every time something has happened. Every time. And now
this time it's COVID.
And now it's COVID. So Joe Rogan goes, "Fuck that shit. It is cursed. Like, I am not commenting it." He's like, "It's cursed. I'm not doing the card." He's like, "I won't be there." And not only did he say he won't be there, but he genuinely believes it's not going to happen. He's like, "Do you really think we're going to put on the biggest fight of the year, April 18th? Like, how does anyone think that's going to happen? WrestleMania is the biggest event in wrestling every single year, and they're not letting fans in. And that's only a week before. How does the UFC think April 18th they're going to put on the biggest card of the year?" But
they think okay. So next month.
Yeah, it's not even a month away. And Dana White posted, "This is going to be the biggest fight of the year. All these canceled fights, I'm bringing the headliners and all the big names, and we're going to make it up to the fans for the month that we've basically missed." But Joe Rogan's like, "I don't care. Like, I'm not making it up to anyone. I'm going to stay safe. I'm going to stay home." And
here's the thing is Dana White sucks Donald Trump's dick.
Right. I'm sure Donald will be the one person they let in the audience.
Well, and that's why he thinks that it can go down because.
You know what's really funny? He has been on Trump's dick for who knows how long now.
Well, he's been at his rallies.
Right. He's been at like all the stuff. Yeah, he's been at his Klan rallies and all that kind of stuff. Because that's what they are. But but I'm pretty sure like even in this past year, for as shitty as it seems like Dana White is, even he was kind of like, with some of the things that have happened, he goes, "Oh yeah, I don't fucking support that." Like even he's like starting to be like, "Oh shit." Like there's been like a moment in time for everyone where they're like, except for the really ignorant people that refuse to ever admit they're wrong. But there's been a lot of people who are willing to go, yeah, guys, I think we fucked up a little bit. And Dana White seems to be one of those people, so that kind of wins me over. I could be wrong. He could just be as ignorant as everybody else, but
Dana White's the worst, man. I love Joe Rogan, so I'm stoked to hear that he's like, well, no, you guys are all stupid.
yeah, you guys are dumb. Like exactly. He'll probably do it from home, and that'll be awesome. Like Dana, or you'll probably be able to go onto YouTube and watch it.
Do you think he'll stream it live, or like him watching it live?
Oh, for sure. I think
He
he'll get together with his like normal crew, like the 3 or 4 guys he always does it with, and I think it'll be awesome.
And that's one of my favorite Home Run Jack videos I've posted, which actually has about the least amount of views. Was the one where I streamed myself watching the Vikings Niners game.
Dude, I've been wanting to do that since basically me and Derek started this show. Was like just like a little like side thing to do while we do this show on Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
I've always thought about, well, I always do my picks for the fights afterwards, or there's always like in football season, there's always football games the next day. Like, why don't I do a reaction video?
Well, you know, Barstool Sports does it. They during games, they're sitting there on their couch and they're watching the live Super Bowl or the Stanley Cup or whatever.
Yeah. So I don't know. Maybe I'll do one for marble racing today.
You should.
Well, I think with the new, especially with StreamYard, I think we'll have more opportunities to do stuff like that.
Well, and just the other thing is everyone's home right now. Yeah. Everyone's home. If you can't get an audience for a live stream, nobody likes you.
Yeah. And yeah, that's the thing. Tonight when I live stream, if I don't have at least 15 people, the fuck am I doing?
Yeah, I'll be there. I'll be there, brother. Send me a reminder when it's starting, and I'm on.
Oh, dude, it's gonna be wild.
I always see the reminder for your show come up like 4 hours after it was on.
Yeah, that's true.
That's weird, fuckers. I don't know. I always, I have the Facebook event that I do, but I think one of the funnest ones for me. So, which I think would be cool, like. If Joe Rogan, I would watch because UFC, whatever. I rather watch Joe Rogan watching a UFC fight.
I watch him after, so I watch obviously the entire thing for my opinion of what's going on. Because out of any of the sports where, I played football, I played basketball. Now I've played like quite a bit of tennis, so I understand like. When they're using, So when I played a lot too. Tennis is fucking fun to watch.
Oh, that's fine. That's fine, dude.
But like
Wimbledon's the best,
dude. Wimbledon's rad. But so when a commentator is speaking, I feel like I'm right there with him as far as color commentary goes. But other sports, definitely not. Like I never played baseball, right? Never played soccer. MMA, I feel like over the years I've gotten to the point where I'm not just as an MMA fan would call a casual, you're a casual.
You're fucking casual.
Yeah,
like the gamers, fucking casual.
Yeah, they use that for MMA now. So like literally, oh God, this is ridiculous. And this person might be watching the show because they do that.
Who is it? Call him out.
No, I'm not pulling the Sean.
Text me and then I'll call him out.
I'm gonna send you the full name. But yeah, so I was talking to this girl and she goes, don't treat me like some sort of casual, because we were talking about the fights. Like one of the fights that me and Derek did on the show, I think like I went 5 for 5 on the main card as far as calling them, and she went like 1 for 5. And so I just blasted her on Instagram. I was like, 1 for 5, you totally fucking nailed it. And she's like, quit treating me like I'm some sort of casual because I'm a girl. And I was like, that's not why I did that. I did that because you literally picked every fight wrong. And
it has nothing to do with your sex.
Yeah, and then she literally was like, "Oh, well, what gym do you go to?" And I'm like, "Wait, do you literally I was like, "Wait, do you literally have to go to a fucking MMA gym now to be not considered a casual to not be considered a casual fan? Like do I have to actively participate in jiu-jitsu for someone not to call me a bitch on the internet?"
You can put me in a chokehold, brother.
Yeah, I just wanted her to come here and just, rear naked choke me to death.
Wait, well, what is that?
A rear naked choke?
Is she naked and you're naked?
A rear naked choke is just when you choke someone out from behind.
Well, I think they should change the naked part because it's for someone who doesn't know what it is, it's very, I don't know.
Sexual.
My imagination went so many directions.
like an anaconda. An anaconda choke. That's sexual.
No, well, when you say anaconda, I only see Ice Cube.
Everyone forgets that Ice Cube, and Jennifer Lopez were both an anaconda.
And Owen Wilson and that one woman.
Didn't they remake Anaconda like recently in the last couple of years?
Alyssa Milano, that's her name.
Didn't they remake it in the last couple of years?
I think they made like 4 after it or something.
Well, they made sequels, but I thought they rebooted the franchise in the last couple of years.
I hope so.
But like that's a movie where if you
My
remake it,
anaconda don't want none unless you got buns, son.
like that movie,
I was waiting. I knew that you were gonna do it, and I was waiting.
yeah. The that movie actually legit scared me when I was a kid.
Oh, dude,
I love that movie.
Yeah,
That was one of those movies that like I feel like
That's
none of our
scary
parents
part.
stopped us from watching them. Did you guys as parents stop you from watching movies?
my mom. So you guys ever watch the movie Kids?
The Jonah Hill movie?
No.
No, that's mid '90s.
But that was pretty much like a G-rated version of Kids.
Oh, okay.
You ever see Kids, Derek?
I did not.
It's fucked up, man, and it's a like, oh god, dude, it's brutal. Anyways, no, I saw the movie Kids as a kid, and if you ever seen Kids, my mom pretty much let me watch whatever.
Same. You can always tell which people got to grow up watching whatever from which people didn't. I got to watch whatever the fuck I wanted when I was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
But
And
yeah,
that's because my mom was not really a single mother, but had three boys. She just didn't have the time.
yeah, exactly. My mom had 4 kids, and she was like, probably just trying to keep her head above water, which I'm sure any mother of 4 would be doing, or 3, or probably even 2. But
yeah,
how do people have
even
kids?
one is stupid?
How do people even have kids? Also, this is a show of 3 30-plus-year-old dudes, and none of us have children.
0.
And I mean, I can't.
And we've been shooting loads.
Yeah, I've been dropping bombs into bitches.
For now.
It's been...
For now, I'll say it here. That's something we're looking into.
Are you?
Oh.
Well,
you're the oldest.
Seriously, or what? Like, what do you mean?
Yeah, it's considered. It's a considered thing.
I don't mean to toot our own horns, but they do say intelligent people not only reproduce less, but just in general wait longer. So, congrats, guys. You're smart.
I think
stay strong, Derek.
At this point, I'm like, I could go either way, and so could my wife.
Mm-hmm.
We're like, honestly, like we've said that if we would try it the natural way if there was anything that we had to do with her, like in vitro or anything like that costs thousands of dollars. We would just do the DINK method: dual income, no kids.
Right.
Just live our lives.
Stack paper. I would love just a litter of Rugrats, as everyone knows, but I can't get anyone to tolerate me for the duration of a pregnancy.
You're lucky. You're lucky. I'm not if you and I
actually, I'll have your baby right now.
Yeah, you're lucky that Bridget's in my life, because if she wasn't, we could just get the insurance. I would just marry you and we could just adopt.
Yeah.
What we need to do, Sean. We need to get Bridget to do a Zoom podcast with Bree.
Yeah. Well, they're both super funny.
I agree.
Bridget's super funny, but she doesn't think she is, but she is.
They're probably funnier.
She knows she is. She knows she is. She's like that.
Agree. That's a woman thing, man.
Yeah.
Not to be a dick, but I'm not funny. It's like, nah, you are funny. You make me laugh. Like that's the appeal. That's why I'm here. Like,
but like dudes, we make a girl laugh once. We're like, yeah, man, it's because I'm pretty fucking funny.
Right? Yeah, exactly it.
Yeah.
But Bree makes me laugh probably 7 times a day. Like hearty laugh, like a hearty, good laugh.
Yeah. Yeah. Same. Bridget's hilarious, man.
I was born pretty cold, guys, and I don't think anyone's ever made me laugh ever. So
well, shit, I made you laugh today.
That's true.
Unless you guys are doing courtesy laughs.
Laughs.
If you guys are doing courtesy laughs, I'm out.
Oh, Who's that bald dude who does America's Got Talent?
Howie?
Howie Mandel.
Mandel.
The episode of Workaholics where he's like, it's a courtesy laugh. Howie Mandel gets them all the time. It fucking that line
That just resonates with you.
Yeah, Blake says it. He's like, it's a courtesy laugh. Yeah, it fucking kills me because I'm like, that's true.
Sometimes I've gotten some little gigs out of Swanee here.
No, I know. I laugh. I'm kidding. But at work, if any of my coworkers are listening, I've never actually thought anything you were saying was funny.
You just go, ha, 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 oh.
Well,
if any of Zach's coworkers are listening, fuck you.
Exactly. No, the thing is I'm sure that everyone's really funny. Like, there's a lot of really funny people out there, but my attention deficit disorder is so bad that I don't think I've ever listened to someone speak more than one sentence.
Yeah, like, well, and how do you deal with us? I
really have to fucking focus, and sometimes I stop. But yeah, I mean, it's a problem. I would like to listen to people that I care about all the time, but it's extremely hard without medication.
So do you think
on medication it's great?
Do you take meds?
I don't like to.
Does it make you foggy?
No. Have you ever taken Adderall, bud? It's a slippery slope.
Look at me, bud. I'm all natural, baby.
Exactly. It's
all natural, baby.
And my mom put me in every type of class that could be given to a child.
Yeah.
I take allergy pills.
Yeah. To sleep at night. Yeah. No, that's one thing. We don't need to turn this into how people should be raising their kids show. But if your kid can't pay attention to something, please fucking do something about it. Like, parents are terrible at that shit, and I'm gonna be
now they just hand you a phone.
This was a cool thing. I would read all the assigned reading and be ahead of it, and be bored.
Yeah.
And so I got in trouble all the time. So my mom is actually who got me into comic books.
Well, that's badass.
So she would go buy me a comic book probably once a week, go buy me 2 or 3 comic books. I'd read those, and that kept my attention a little better. That's how I got into comics.
Well, and that's cool because I think getting into reading is super important. Yeah, I never had any of that, and I had zero ability to focus. And then when I became an adult and had to go to school later in life, as opposed to most people who wrap school up, at like 22, 23, I basically had to realize like it was on me to take care of all of that. And then once I was able to focus, thanks to, pinpointing that there was a real problem, I was like, wow, if I would have done this 10 years ago, I'd probably be 10 years ahead right now. But
you're a smart guy, though.
Right, but I can't focus, and now I can. So
that's what's weird is you can I think you can focus on things you actually like.
I'm sure anyone can, yeah. But
there's a difference in focusing and then like retaining knowledge. And I could ask you about probably a college football team, and you could probably tell me almost the entire starting lineup.
Right.
I made the mistake of asking Zach what he did for a living for his company he works for, and I glazed over so fast. Like,
okay, I'm ready.
So incredibly fast.
I'm ready to know Zach. So let's go.
I'm not going to do this on the internet.
Not on the internet.
Yeah.
Outside of here.
When we turn the live stream off, I can explain my job.
Yeah.
Am I going to need another beer?
You might.
I have whiskey too.
I did see that they were hiring for an HR guy. Again.
Yeah, I would not be surprised. They're
growing fast.
What do they pay, and can I work from home?
That is the only thing. If they ever asked me what they should do more, I would say let more people work from home, because like we are thriving right now where other companies, like, because of the contact we have with our end users on a day-to-day basis, we can see like how much more we're thriving compared to other companies around the world, like people using our product. And I would say like last week's production, besides for the fact that there was other issues, I would say our production's just skyrocketed as far as how much people are getting done in an 8-hour time period. And a lot of other tech companies downtown Boise have embraced at least like a Friday work from home. where every Friday, no matter even before all this happened, you work from home every Friday, which I think is awesome. Like, why is everyone not doing that? If you can do that, if your job is just sitting at a computer, why are you not doing that?
And your work
the most
computer-based.
miserable. Go ahead. Sorry, Derek.
Oh, I was just thinking. I mean, your work's computer based. I mean, that's what.
I do nothing off of a computer.
Right.
And even like when I have to talk to a client or something like that, I did a 2-hour training yesterday sitting right here. So there is no reason for me to have to be in an office at any point in my life.
Did you say you've been doing the same thing I've been doing too? Sorry, Sean.
No, you're
Did
fine.
you say you've been doing the same thing I've been doing, where you're like zooming like coworkers and stuff, and just
so we also use Microsoft Teams, which I think is just an outstanding product. If I could plug absolutely anything on this show, even over Zoom. Zoom is nice and we all have it now, so that's great. But Teams is the shit because it's a chat service, but not only can you chat, but you can instantly call them and switch to an in-screen conversation like this. And then screen sharing is also instant, similar to this, where you have to share screen and show them what you're seeing. But it's so easy to give someone a call really fast. Just show them exactly what I'm working on via screen share, and then them say, oh, do this. Like, here's what you should be doing. Make this change. So internally, we try to use Teams instead of Zoom, but I do use Zoom if it's an external conversation, someone outside the company. But I'm trying to utilize Teams. It's awesome.
That's good.
Yeah, so Microsoft Teams, it's the first thing that Microsoft's probably ever done that works. Because Skype was a load of garbage. So
Skype is dog shit.
yeah. But Teams is nice. I don't know a lot of businesses not using it. Like this last year, I think almost every like client I've even talked to, they're like, oh yeah, we're switching to Teams. So, and then if the client uses it, you don't even have to set up a Zoom call. You can just instantly Teams them and whatever. But yeah, so but yeah, I think right now at work, it's important if you are working from home to stay in contact with your coworkers, because I think we're going to see a fallout of people getting detached from their jobs. Like as soon as this is over, I think a lot of people are going to quit their jobs and go somewhere else, because it's literally creating this huge like detachment. And a lot of people are really getting kept at the jobs they're currently at because they like their coworkers. So you no longer have that. You're like, oh, I actually see that my job is a load of dog shit, and you move on. So I think that's what's going to happen from this. Like people are realizing, hey, my actual job sucks.
Yeah. I've been Zooming with my friend from the school, and it's been great because it's like working in the office again. It's very nice.
I think it's fucking awesome. Yeah, and I mean, getting to do this every weekend is cool. Even before the coronavirus stuff, this was cool though, because I'd rather hang out with you guys than hang out with most of the people that I know anyways. So sure. It's like, oh, I'm actually looking forward to this, which is probably why we hang out before and after we do the show.
Yeah, by the way, I want you guys to stay on after we're done.
Oh yeah, I actually didn't go grab another beer yet because I'm waiting for the after show.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna grab.
You down too, Zach?
Huh?
Are you down too to hang out afterwards?
Oh, I'm gonna hang.
Good, because I have a couple ideas. So.
Me too. Yeah, why are we still doing this? Let's wrap this bitch up.
Hey guys,
let's go ahead and do this. Like, hold on.
We just stopped caring about anyone listening to this content at some point.
Well, it's hard to do when you got no sports to talk about.
Yeah, well, next week let's play Jackbox, and let's bring on one more person, and then let's stream it so people can watch. Because
I love that idea.
If we can't do something funny on there, I don't know who can.
Thank you, everybody, for listening to the show. You guys are our bread and butter. We'll be using StreamYard next week. It'll look a lot different, but Zoom did as well for a couple weeks, but I think StreamYard will be where it's at. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Zach. Thank you, Sean. Make sure you find us all on Twitter at Derek on TSPN, at Quack Swan, at Home Run Jack 1987. I love you all.
I love you.
blast
gonna
me for
talk
a second
sports
with
again.
that perception.
Make sure you please check out on Thursday nights, every other Thursday night. Check out Smart Mark Wrestling Radio. That's going to be the real deal. It's going to be fun. Thank you to Glacier Veins for letting us use your music for our show.
Yeah, thanks. That's a bona fide slapper right there.
I'll mute all so they can hear it. I already added them to my playlist.
Yeah. They were talking to me about this because I was going to interview them actually and do something like this. It was like when we were kind of cooking up that idea of doing
Yeah.
And apparently this, and there's another song like right before it called Time. And I think they wrote them like right before, like when you go into a studio, they're like, you need to have at least a certain amount of songs to make an album. And I think they only had 8. So they were like, oh, we got to write 2 more songs. And that was one of them. And I'm like, that's the fucking slapper right there. That's the song.
It's very good. Glacier Veins, make sure you check them out on Spotify. That's how we're playing this. Thank you, everybody. You have a lovely day. Have a lovely weekend. Stay safe. Stay healthy.
Stay distant.
Stay distant.
Keep it distant, baby.